Hello, I'm Anna the Mouse, and welcome back to Tavern Talk. We are entering chapter 12. Last episode, I wrote like 2 quests, so hopefully they'll be picked up today. Let's just see what happens. I'm a little irritated that I still haven't opened the letter I got.
The Source Best Detective Duo has returned!
Welcome back, Melly and Malachite. John?
I'm calling him Aura now.
Because he's giving you migraines?
No, because of his gloomy aura, of course.
Well then, Melly, Aura, it's good to have you two back in town. It is. I'm so happy to see them. I assume you were able to solve the mystery surrounding the missing familiars?
Yes, with the help of my trusty assistant, I was able to figure it out.
That's remarkable, I have to say. Good thing you went with her, Aura. It was a dangerous mission. Did you encounter a T-Rex? Of course not. But we were nearly burned alive. That's not what I would have expected. You must always expect life to double-cross you. I'm glad you both made it back in one piece. But I'm curious, what was the reason behind those vanishing familiars? Do I need to worry about Anbu disappearing too? I've been calling him Anbu the entire time. Whoops.
How about we tell you what happened and suffered, but only in exchange for 2 free drinks?
I can see you've learned a thing or two on your first big mission.
Aura told me how to be more cunning.
Only the basics. No need to be humble. You taught her well. What kind of drink would you like today, Millie?
I want something... something that'll polish my investigation and deductive skills. A drink that'll make me even smarter than I am now. So no mysterious case like this one will ever be unsolvable for me.
Coming right up. Yeah, I already know what I'm making. Bam! Bam! Sparkling nebula. At this point, I am actually quite amazing at mixing drinks. But mixing drinks also reminds me... Can you guys remember that Flash game? Where you were a bartender and you had to try your drinks and... In my case, at least, more often than not, he would suffer in some weird shape or form. I was just quickly reminded of it. Let's see if this will make your brain cells multiply.
Thank you. Let me try. Oh, this is good. I can already feel it. I'm going to be completely unstoppable.
Oh no. Oh yes. Initially, I wanted to sit this one out, but I might actually need a drink now. It would be my pleasure if it means I get to hear your story. Also, I am longing for another one of your little secrets. Right, we made a deal. Correct. So, what will it be today? Maybe something that'll help me encounter her verbal attacks now that she is linguistically invincible. The usual, alright? Give me a second, I'll be right back. That'll be a spoken heart. Yes, it is. And there. Look at all these pretty things I have here. It's so cool. I hope there's more. Okay. That should do the trick. This should make things easier for you. Oh.
I can see it in his face.
Is it bad?
Huh? No, CD, he likes it. You can clearly see it from the way his scarf is moving.
Oh. Ah, I see.
My deduction skills aren't that bad after all.
You think you could teach me a thing or two sometime?
Of course. There will be a trio. The detective, the trusty assistant, and the curious apprentice.
I like the sound of that. It's been a while since I've been an apprentice. I don't remember being asked if I wanted to be a part of this.
But I couldn't have completed the quest without you. Also, being a detective's trusted assistant is an honorable duty. And I'm glad you came with me.
Of course. Couldn't let you walk headfirst into the open maw of a hungry T-Rex. Did you actually encounter a T-Rex in Suffolk? No, don't be silly. For a moment I thought you just shared one of your many secrets with me. Right, I guess I owe you one of those now. My hair isn't actually all black. I know. That's not a secret. I can clearly see the white streak. Please, it's like right in your face. Anyways. But now, please, I'm dying to know what happened in Suffolk.
So, thanks to the golden feathers, we made it to Suffolk in the blink of an eye.
I don't think I've ever felt that fast in my life.
It was like you had the zoomies. They helped us remain unseen too.
Thanks to your drink, we were able to sneak around the city without attracting too much attention.
But those ghosts were the clue we needed. I knew we'd find something at the docks, so we made our way there.
She was right. In the dead of night, just hours after we left your tavern, we spotted a peculiar dog roaming near the water.
We watched it as it tried to sneak onto a cargo ship.
It behaved weird, undog-like.
It hid behind some barrels and kept looking left and right before it started to sneak on board. I'd never seen a dog do that before.
It looked like it didn't know how to be a dog. It didn't use its nose, its ears.
It was just off. We watched one of the workers notice the dog and scare it away, but my investigation senses were tingling. So we started asking around. As detectives do when they want to collect some evidence.
A few people said they had also seen some animals with odd behaviors. Most of them thought they had some kind of illness, like rabies, or that there were spirits disguised in animal forms, sent by a sea witch. So they stayed away and minded their own business.
Not every high-class detective of them. Not very high-class detective of them. But they made up for fine witnesses.
Apparently, there's something like a weekly get-together for all the town's familiars. We decided to check it out. And?
We managed to track down a few of the participating familiars to get more insight. It wasn't really tricky since none of them wanted to talk to us at first. I think we were a bit wary of strangers.
It also seemed to be difficult for familiars to speak to people they don't know. Must have something to do with their magical abilities.
But with our combined charm and charisma, Aura and I finally able to gain the trust of one of them. And they told us something strange. They said all the familiars were missing seemed to be in contact with one particular magician. So of course we had to pay the visit a visit. Preferably when he wasn't at home.
I think that's called burglary. Finding out his address was child's play. Apparently he's quite popular among the people of Suffolk.
It just took Aura a little bit of well-executed bribery to find his mage's home. To find the mage's home.
Did you take some notes?
I did. Prepare yourself for my next test subject, innkeeper.
test subject? Did I hear correctly? Should I be scared?
Maybe. Only a little bit, though.
Very well. Your drink really did wonders. We managed to break in without anyone noticing.
It was so exciting. We snuck around looking for evidence. Maybe a hidden ritualistic chamber or something like that.
And did you find one?
Sadly, no. But we found his office with the door open. Inside were lots of books about different kinds of animals and familiars.
We figured he just loves animals, or at least needed the knowledge for something else.
As any world-class detective would, I also checked his trash can.
And? Did you find anything?
Well, nothing that helped us solve the case. But I did find something that you like between all that shredded paper. It looked like a recipe for a magical drink, just like the ones you serve. Ta-da!
Ooh, that's very useful. Silent owl.
That's what I thought. Anyways, Aura and I continued our search for clues. His office was also books about common and uncommon diseases in animals, so we kind of had a connection to the reported cases of rabies.
I thought it was a bit of a stretch. Not that I could change her mind.
There was no it found. Next to his desk is a small cupboard where his diaries. They were full of notes and spells I didn't understand.
Something about transmutational magic. While she studied his diaries, I rummaged through his belongings and scrolls. I had absolutely no clue of what any of it meant until I found something of interest. Detailed instructions on how to unbind a familiar from their services.
A thought began to manifest itself in my brain, and I thought, although I couldn't quite grasp it yet. But somehow my instincts told me I had all the information I needed. I just had to stitch everything together.
Kinda like what I do when I assemble my quest for my Patreons.
Exactly! But right when I tried to get to it, we heard the front door squeak and creak as someone entered the house.
We tried to hide, of course, but
we hadn't been quick enough in our investigations. And definitely not solvable either. The whole place looked super chaotic. The wizard immediately knew something was off.
And a potentially dangerous person on high alert is even more dangerous, so we had to be on guard.
Or I hid under the table, but I had other plans. I managed to jump on a bookshelf and wedge myself right on top under the ceiling. I was hidden, but could still see the whole room.
Good call.
I watched as the magician barged in, but he wasn't alone. He was accompanied by a lizard, a colorful bird, and a two-headed sheep.
Oh no. Not one of those again.
Huh?
It's nothing. Please continue.
It was so weird. The bird didn't know how to fly, the lizard walked on two legs, and the sheep's head always looked in the same direction. As if they didn't know how to be real animals, just like the dog from the dogs. But now we had proof. The weird animals were definitely connected to the weird wizard.
I'm just gonna put down my water. Okay.
And as if the wizard noticed something, he stopped and said to the animals, "No, you three, get out of here. I don't want you to get in trouble or hurt."
I already had my fingers wrapped around the handle of my knife, ready to strike. I'm sure he felt my murderous intent. But it does sound like he cared about those animals.
That's what I thought too. As soon as they had left the room, I saw him create a ball of flames in his hand. He was ready to strike. And I knew I had to do something. He would have done horrible things to Aura. So I meowed.
What? Like a cat? What? I for sure thought she was just gonna strike with all the might that cat taught her.
Uh-huh. I pretended to be a cat. And somehow it worked, even though I was wearing clothes. The wizard turned around and saw me on top of the bookshelf. His features turned from worried to soft in milliseconds, and he said, "Oh, a little rascal, how did you get in here? Did I lock you in? You must be terribly scared." And I was scared, but not for the reason he thought. So I just meowed a second time, as you do when you're pretending to be a cat. And then he said, very politely, "Would you please come down there? This room isn't a place for little cats, but I can offer you a cup of milk instead." And that was a very tempting offer. So as any cat would, I answered, "No, but I'd like some chocolate milk."
I'm not sure. What?
I kind of forgot that cats don't usually speak. Needless to say, his face was priceless. But then his hands started to light up again.
I immediately knew she was in danger, so I broke every possible rule that thieves' skills taught me and just popped out from underneath the table. That was very brave of you. Don't know if I'd been so fearless. Well, I had to. The wizard turned around. He was surprised, maybe even scared, but he was also ready to fire at me. I already saw my life flash before my eyes.
And before I could even think about it, I yelled, "We know you don't mean any harm. You were just trying to protect those familiars, right?" Apparently, I hit a nerve. He stopped right in his tracks.
I took advantage of the moment and tried to explain why we were in his home in the first place. I told him everything about the quest, the familiars, the weird dog. Usually I'm not very good with words, but, well, Drake definitely did what it was supposed to. I don't know, but I think we managed to de-escalate the situation. He looked panicked before that, as if he was being chased. Maybe he actually expected people to come after him.
Hearing all of these clues out of Aura's mouth kind of flipped the switch in my brain, and I could see the truth right in front of me. Suddenly, everything made so much sense. I jumped down from the shelf and began my conclusion. It's clear to me that you, the accused, do not have ill intentions. However, that does not make you innocent. You are still involved in the disappearances of some familiars.
She walked back and forth while she gave her speech. Needless to say, the wizard and I were equally confused.
You're fond of animals and such, also familiars. And while I don't know anything about magic, I have heard the term transmutational before. Who hasn't? Honestly, it's a broadly used term.
That right there was a blatant lie.
So I, the world's greatest detective, have concluded you are turning familiars into animals. Or at least you're making them look like animals. You were also accompanied by some of those who turned familiars. You care for their safety. That means they're here of their own free will. So by turning them into animals, you did them a favor. They wanted to be transmuted. But now their patrons and other familiars can't reach them anymore. And they're worried that something bad happened to them. And that's why we are here. Case closed.
That's pretty impressive. And you figure that out all by yourself?
Yep. The magician was also really impressed. I totally hit the nail on the head.
I explained again that we were just here to investigate. But that was also necessary for the familiars and the friends and families to talk to each other. The remaining familiars wanted an explanation, as well as their former mages. The wizard already felt guilty for doing something behind their backs, of course. Turns out the familiars were unhappy in their dragon-like bodies and much preferred feeling like real animals. But they were afraid of telling their patrons and familiar friends, so none of their remaining acquaintances knew what happened. Of course, they expected the worst. Why else would your friends just leave you alone and disappear without a trace? Yeah.
But obviously none of them wanted to continue like that, so we have to set up a meeting to talk it out. And they did. All the magicians were very understanding, if a little sad to lose their connections. The other families will also welcome them with open arms, even though they were a little confused at first. They needed a while to understand why the friends wanted to be animals, but I think they got it eventually.
So, all in all, it sounds like a very successful quest.
Absolutely!
I'm glad you got to uncover the truth.
Hehe, me too. The magician even decided to give us something in return for helping him.
Neither was any use for it, so we wanted you to have it. Ooh, drink it?
Don't say that, it makes it sound like a bad gift, and it's not.
What is it then?
It's a ring of beast storing, with a lost familiar inside of it.
Oh, I get another familiar?
He found it a long while ago, but his bracelet never showed up. We named it Redu.
Melina can't take care of it, and I have my sheep with Rufus. But you have Andu, and you already know how to care of a mini dragon. Oh, I absolutely do. He might enjoy some company. So thank you two very much. Oh yeah, are you actually shitting me? I love him. Oh my god. I need to get back to Rufus now. He gets lonely without me sometimes.
Or is it that you get lonely without him?
He's my pet. I need to take care of him. Don't worry, I'm sure Fable did a good job. Though it's nice to see how much you care for your pet. He's been my only friend since my parents died a long time ago.
Oh. Were they also eaten by zombies?
No. They were burned alive. Oh my lord!
Oh.
Oh.
I know.
Same. Oh my lord. That's fucking horrible. I remember as if it was yesterday. It was late afternoon and my parents wanted to visit the adjacent village to buy some grain. But they never returned. I wanted to look for them. But when I got to the village, every house, every barn, even the ground was ablaze. I heard yelling, people screaming in pain, pleading for help. And my parents were nowhere to be found. A few of the survivors confirmed they had seen them earlier that day. Before the fire. I later found out that the perpetrators was the potential son of a noble family. He had a disagreement with the farmer over some payments and instead paid a bunch of criminals to set fire to his barn. But the fire spread uncontrollably and devoured everything in its path, including innocent lives. Damn. Just like it did today. Oh my, that's awful. Yeah.
That's awful. I'm sorry, Aura.
It's alright. I bottled up my emotions up and combined them into desire.
For a family?
For revenge. Oh.
Oh. But that sounds like a lonely desire, though. And you haven't found any friends since then?
No. The people in the Thieves Guild helped me survive, but they weren't particularly keen on friendship. So I just chose the lonely path that was meant for me.
That's not very nice of them. But now you have me.
And
We're best friends now. And accomplices. And we found our own guild. Like a detective's guild.
no.
Give us a few more quests and we'll be the most famous detective in all of Visora.
I'm sure of that. Damn, that's so sad though. well, we are getting interrupted by Hex. And I'll see what he has to say in the next episode. I'll see you around. Bye bye!